Jacob was given the name Israel after he fights with God, and his 11 sons. We now come to the life of Joseph, and much has happened. Joseph is the beloved son of Jacob, or Israel, the dreamer as he was known, the beloved one who receives the multicolored cloak. And as a result, his other 10 brothers are jealous, and we know the story, how they wanted to kill him, how they threw him into the well, how they sell him as a slave to the Midianites. And Joseph lands in Egypt. We know the story there, how again he is accused, he is thrown into prison. The dreams that he will interpret will now make him governor of Egypt. Is Egypt's second highest post. And from this land of plenty, they are now in famine. God works in strange ways, and it is through the famine now that they come back to their brother Joseph. Joseph recognizes him then, but he has a condition. He wants to see his younger brother Benjamin, who had no part to play in his previous story. God works in strange ways, my dear friends, and sometimes we don't understand what is happening in our lives. There is so much of crooked lives, and God writes straight on it. And this is our faith, that nothing in our lives will go to waste. God, in God's economy, all of us have an important role to play. And God has need of each one of us, as I said yesterday. We are now in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 10. And chapter 10 is the second teaching that Jesus will give in the Gospel of Matthew. Moses gave 5 great teachings. In the Gospel of Matthew, there are 5 great teachings, because Jesus is presented as the new Moses. So chapters 5, 6, and 7 is the Sermon on the Mount. Chapter 10 is the missionary discourse. Jesus sends them out now as apostles. Go out. On Sunday I was preaching about the power of 2 when we look at the feast of Peter and Paul. And when we look at the 12 apostles, it is always in pairs. Jesus, in his lifetime, performed a lot of miracles. He changed and transformed everything around him. And we look at the many healings and miracles. But for me, the greatest miracle is how Jesus transformed and changed his human resources. Ordinary men who will now become fishers of men. The very same Jesus who yesterday was accused of healing the demoniac by the power of demons, today the commission is apostles, go out and cast out demons in my name. Cure the sick. In the Gospel of Luke, the disciples are sent to everyone. Go out to every home. Eat what is given. But in the Gospel of Matthew, he is a Jew and his concern is the salvation of the Jews. Matthew is not interested in the kingdom of God for people, the Gentiles or the pagans. And that is why in Matthew's Gospel, in this missionary discourse, he will say, Jesus sends them out to the people of the lost house of Israel. Do not go to the houses of the Samaritans. There are discrepancies, there are different views in the Gospel, but it doesn't mean that the Gospel was only limited to the Jews. Jesus, before his ascension, will expand this missionary zeal and enterprise and say, go out to the whole world. You been. No matter how limited we are because of our weaknesses, our tendencies, with all the capabilities and gifts and charisms that the Lord has given us, all that the Lord wants of us is to be with Him and to be generous, to be sent out by Him. The kingdom of God is